So is there a direct connection between fat loss and sleep? Now, again, you come to my channel, I want to give you the direct answer and get straight to it. Number one, I'm going to tell you, absolutely. And I'm going to say, for those out there grinding, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to bed late, I know that you're hustling. I know that you're doing everything you can to like be successful. And I get sometimes it's a decision you have to make, right? Get the work done or not get it done and go to bed. But I will tell you right now, there's a ton of value in making sure you're getting proper rest, especially when you're looking at fat loss and making sure that you're on your fitness journey. So one of the things I want to just say before I start is that it's super important to understand that when it comes to sleep is the most important thing that you can do. I mean, being someone who trains on a daily basis, right now I'm training about 5 days a week, and someone who has been grinding out here as an entrepreneur, really just, for the last, since 2014, 15, just really out here doing my thing. I think the biggest thing you have to understand is that sleep will actually help you with a ton of stuff. And I will just say this, I understand and I get it. And I'm telling you this, I've struggled with sleep and I've struggled with the fact that, I know that I got to get some work done. And I know at the end of the day, like getting up in the morning, even I think since 2006, I was getting up in the morning at 4 o'clock, 4:30, sometimes 3:45 in the morning, but it just was like dragging. But because I started to like make some changes in my life, and was like, in order for me to like get to the gym, I got to go to the gym in the morning, because who knows when I'm gonna get off work, and the last thing I want to do is get off work and go to the gym at like 6 o'clock at night. The reality is that when I talk about this, is I'm gonna share some personal things, but I'm also just gonna tell you guys the straight truth, and we start talking about this. Now, this is something that's really big for me when we start talking about sleep, because there's I've had some things happen in my life personally with one of my daughters, but also I want to just talk about it because I think it's important you understand that sleep, it is the time for your body to finally recover all the things you've done throughout the day, all the stress and all the things you've put it through, in order for your body to prepare to renew so you can go out for another day. I will tell you this, that proper sleep, quality sleep, is something that you have to practice, and it's a skill. Some people I know sleep a lot and they value going to sleep at a certain time, and for those that are sleeping at a regular time of day, that's great. And I think that since you're doing that, that's amazing. But I think the thing that I started to learn probably a few years ago, once I started on Whoop is a fitness application that also tracks your sleep performance. One of the things I can tell you right now is it allowed me to be more accountable for getting quality of sleep, based on also making sure that I'm getting proper recovery. With that being said, I mean, this is the thing, as you're on your fitness journey and you're focusing on eating better, training, doing, lifting weights, doing cardio, drinking more water, just doing things that are going to be better for you. A lot of times we overlook sleep, and it's not just only because of the recovery, but just looking at it in terms of just your lifestyle, right? Some people work all day, you have your kids, and you want to have some me time. And so you stay up late because that's the time where no one else is bothering you, and you can either scroll through your phone, you can read, you can do something productive, but the bottom line is you're staying up. And so one of the things I will say is that I understand why that is, but I can tell you this, like when you start to really put it together and start focusing on your sleep, you start to understand that just by not getting sleep, you're creating a situation where skipping out on sleep, you start to have a high risk for gaining weight. And the reason why this is important is because when you're not getting enough sleep, your body is going to stop producing leptin, right? And start overproducing ghrelin, and that's the hunger hormone. And because of that, you're going to find yourself snacking late, right? The other thing too is when it comes to your nutritional plan and how you're eating your diet, if you're not eating enough food, or you're not, especially not getting enough protein to keep you satiated or full, because you're staying up later, you're going to end up eating later, and you're going to end up picking things because it's late and it's easy for you to just pick up a quick snack. But one of the things it's going to do is it's going to increase your appetite. So with that being said, I'm just going to say this, when it comes to sleep and fat loss, it is huge. Now, there's something that, really have to look at, and it's like, when you really look at a day, a lot of us are like, we're busy. And you've heard the people say like, well, you're busy, just sleep faster. Well, the reality is that I think what happens with most people, and I see this in my programs, this is something that I coach, and this is something I really stand behind. When you are going through your day and you're staying up late doing stuff, like I've realized this, like staying up late trying to work on work, you end up in a situation where you're doing work that's not very productive, right? Now, are you getting it done? Yeah, probably, right? But at the end of the day, is it the most efficient thing? No. And are you using your time wisely? No. And would it be better for you to be able to like organize your day, eliminate distractions, right? Wasting your time on phone calls, conversations with people that you don't need to be having, and then putting yourself in a situation where you're wasting time instead of focusing on the things that are going to be the most impactful into your day and your goals, and then staying up later because you got to catch up. And then at the same time thinking to myself, like, well, are you really getting things done that are going to make the big difference? And that's the question, because if you can't take your butt to sleep because you're worried about all these things, then again, you're hurting yourself. So reason why I'm going this deep here is because I understand that, this conversation of sleep, as we get older and we have, more responsibilities, we have jobs, all that kind of stuff. We got to get up, we got to go to work. We stay up late, we want to hang out with our spouse, we want to do all these things. We're lacking sleep. And the one thing I can tell you is that being able to start your day a little earlier is good. But that means you take your butt to sleep. And I would tell you, if you're getting somewhere between 7 to 9 hours, that's great. Now, somebody's gonna be like, dude, I cannot go. There's no way. There's no way. Well, again, not to get into this habit thing, but it depends on what your situation is. If you have children that are staying up late, well, that's probably the reason it's a habit that needs to stop. Make it that change that has to happen. If, depending on if you work a grave shift, night shift, or whatever else, and maybe you're coming home when the sun is up, maybe there's things you have to do a little differently, right? Maybe you have to move, working out to, before you go to work and your night shift. And then when you come home, be able to spend time with your kids before they go to school, whatever, if you're a night shift person, and then being able to get yourself proper rest so that you can get that 7 to 9 hours. Even like 6 to 7 hours is actually good, not that bad. But the idea is like when it comes to sleep performance and fat loss, it's really making sure your body is being able to recover. Now, one of the cool things, and I'm gonna get a little nerdy right here, and I'm trying to keep it like super basic, but the reason why I use Whoop is because I look at the different stages of sleep, like, light sleep, my REM sleep, my slow wave sleep. I look at all that stuff. And the reason why I do it is because I want the most out of my fat loss. And by getting proper sleep and good recovery, I look at REM. I do certain things because I want to increase my REM sleep. So a couple things I do is, number one, I focus on making sure that my room is completely dark. Now, there's times where, for some reason, in my wife, she likes to keep the lights on, a little light on. What I do is I will wear a mask. And people like, my wife would be like, you look like Zorro, or why are you wearing a mask? Is because I want to block out all the light. The other thing too is like these glasses I wear, they have the blue light. So I'm able to reduce blue light in terms of looking at the screen, because I'm looking at the screen all day. So that helps me with sleep. Then the other thing I do is I try to make sure that I drop the temperature in my room down to 67 degrees, which is really cold. I actually love it because I feel great. And I love it because I can tell that I feel fresh at night and not hot, and it doesn't wake me up. But I drive my wife crazy because she's completely freezing. So I've got to make sure she's good, and I have some different ways to help myself. And that's another conversation, but that really helps you get better sleep and recovery. But what I'm doing is I'm focusing a lot on improving my REM sleep. And the reason why I do that is because during your REM sleep, your pituitary gland, a little nerdy, okay, releases more human growth hormone, which is going to allow me to not only recover better, but it's also going to help me burn additional 200-300 calories while I'm asleep. So that longer sleep and more REM sleep is going to allow me to do that as well. So that's super important in terms of helping me, and why I'd say sleep is so important to it. But also too, like, you got to get up the next day and you got to do the things you got to do. You got to go to the gym, you got to work out, or whatever way you work out. You got to do your daily activities, you got to take care of the family, you got to lead your team, you got to go to work, you got to hustle, you got to do all that kind of stuff. And where do you find the time to recover while you're asleep? If I were to tell you between nutrition, lifting, cardio, those things, right, and sleep, which one is the most important? Like, you let me know which one is most important to you, okay? And if you pick lifting or you pick cardio, I get it. If you pick diet, that's like 100%. But the one thing that's always overlooked is proper sleep. You can have a great nutrition plan and you can eat great, and you can have a great training protocol and training program, great, and you can be doing your cardio, great. But if you're not sleeping, your body is suffering, especially when we start talking about recovery. And that's a bigger thing just from sleeping. If you're working out every single day and you're not getting enough sleep, you're not getting proper recovery, you are actually counterproductive and not helping yourself. You're actually losing out on the gains because you're not getting enough recovery. Commit to your sleep as like you commit to your training or your nutrition. I know it's hard to say everything is a priority, but they are, especially when it comes to sleep, making sure you do that. Now we start talking about recovery. I think the biggest thing is like, I've had women come to me and they're training 7 days a week and they're just like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, first of all, take a couple of days off. And they do. They're like, I don't know if I can do it because mentally, I'm like, take the days off. And as soon as they start to do it, they're like, I've dropped 5 pounds. Because you can't just continue doing it. And then I'm like, how much sleep are you getting? Oh, I don't really sleep that well, right? I've had women come to me and they're just struggling, and men too. Like, man, I don't sleep very well. I wake up in the middle of the night. Well, sometimes that's happening because you have, high stress and hormones are going off, and you have high cortisol, right? And cortisol is a stress hormone. And the reason why that's happening is because you're not doing anything to reduce it. And at the end of the day, that's another challenge. So that's going to affect your sleep. So what I'm going to get at, and what I want to say to kind of wrap this video up, is that, is there a connection between sleep and fat loss? There is. And one thing I want to tell you is, if you're hustling throughout the week and you're like, on the weekend, I'm gonna rest, on Sunday, I'm gonna get all my sleep in, that's not gonna make up for it. You need to consistently get better sleep. And here's a couple things you can do to increase your sleep. And I've already talked based on a couple of these. Number one is work on getting to sleep at the same time each day and waking up at the same time. So you want to build a cadence. So if it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, go to bed, right? Get your 7 to 9 hours. It doesn't have to be 9 hours all the time, but if you're getting that 7 hours in, that's perfect, right? So go to bed at 10:30, wake up at 5:30. The bottom line is that consistency is going to help your body know when you're going to sleep and when you're waking up, so that it's going to start operating better. The next thing you want to do is make sure you're reducing the blue light that you're getting. So maybe have some glasses like I have. If you have an iPhone, you can go to your phone and turn it to, I believe it's called night shift, right? So you can turn your phone to night shift, so it actually turns into like kind of a yellow screen a little bit, so it reduces that. But I would also tell you, put your phone down and pick up a book, right? Stop using electronics, because that's going to also keep going. The bigger thing I want to tell you as well is making sure that you are dropping the temperature in your room somewhere around 67 degrees. Now, if that's too cold for you, I get it. But the cooler you make your room, the better your body's going to be able to recover. And it might sound like it's like the coldest room, but it's super comfortable. And I'm sure in the morning at 67 degrees, it's kind of hard to get up. And that's one of the things we'll talk about is like how to get yourself moving in the morning. We'll talk about another time. But one of the bigger things I want to take away from this and really emphasize when it comes to getting proper sleep is making sure that you keep a completely dark room. Okay. And I think that's going to be one of the things that, why do you do that? You need to like, that light is going to keep you awake, or light wakes you up. So you want to kind of darken that and make sure you have the darkest room. Now, if you got to get blackout curtains, get blackout curtains. If you don't want to wear the mask, I wear a mask just because I want to be in control of that. And I'm serious about my sleep. But long story short, to keep this to a direct point, is when it's all said and done, making sure at the end of the day that you do all these things and getting this proper sleep. But I will tell you the one thing that's going to also help you get proper sleep and proper rest is by exercising and making sure you're getting active every day, and making sure that you're supporting that with really, really good nutritional diet, so that when you get to sleep, your body has what it takes for it to recover. That is going to help you feel so much better, and it's going to allow you to have bigger gains. And you'll notice the key thing to this is that once you start to go to bed earlier, you have so many things you got to do, right? And getting that amount of sleep, you can actually get up in the morning and be rested, right? A real rest, and know that you're recovered. If you are a type of person who wants to make the most out of their day, I actually work out first thing in the morning. I want to wake myself up, right? I want to wake myself up. I want to get those endorphins popping. I want to be out. I want to make sure that I'm like really focused and feel great before I start my day. So I do that. I put the work in, I get back, I do my post-workout shake, I do my post-workout meal, I shower, I do all my things, and I get to work. And what I will tell you right now is that doing that allows me to work through my day. I have different things I do in the day, which we'll talk about in another video, that allows me to continue, during that time where I have my peak times of work, where I can actually, make sure that by time, 5, 6 o'clock comes around and I'm shutting down and I spend time with my family and I do all the other things, that when it comes down to is really focusing on your nightly routine. Have a morning routine and your nightly routine that allows you to slow down, reduce your cortisol, reduce your stress and anxiety all throughout the day, and get yourself prepared, turning your phone off, getting out the busy mode, and get your butt to sleep. So I will tell you this, you want to get in better shape, get some better sleep. At the end of the day, all I want to tell you right now is that as you're watching this video and I'm talking about this, the biggest thing I wanted you to take away from this is understanding that sleep is important. You might be sleeping great right now, but if you don't know, like I know how much what I do. I will tell you this, there's days where I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, and I'm like, oh, I got to go, to the gym and work out. And I wake up and I'm going like, I have like a 14% recovery, taking a day off, right? I'm like, I didn't rest well. I wonder why, right? And normally it's because I'm hot. It's normally because I didn't hydrate. It's normally something I did throughout the day, or I've been working so hard for so long that I need to take that day off. And guess what? I listen to my body and I do that. And I do that because I know how I'm a consistent person who goes to the gym and works out all the time and eats well, that I can take that day off and not feel stressed about it. Does it get in my head? Yeah, I mean, it does, but I do it because I know it's better for my body. So that being said, guys, there is a direct connection with sleep. If you want to hang out at night, on the weekend, whatever else, just know what the consequences are, the trade-offs for that. But at the end of the day, be consistent with your sleep. So with that being said, I hope you guys are getting a tremendous amount of value out of this. I really hope that when it's all said and done that you're learning a lot from this. But if you're struggling with sleep, and this is a big part, I'm going to actually do another video in the near future where I start breaking down Whoop and I start explaining to you the different things that are going to really help you with your sleep and improving your sleep. But the bottom line is that it's very important. I would tell you this, if you're looking at one thing you can change right now and starting out small is increase your get better rest, get a more of a cadence, work on that first, right? But outside of that, if you're getting value out of this, please like and subscribe to the video. And if you're looking for some guidance and you want to, you need some help because you just got all this stuff going on and your life is in disarray, you're just stressed and busy, but you want to do better, message me below and just say, hey Z, I'm ready, right? Just be like, hey, holler at me, whatever that is, just say that down, give me some, I'm ready in the comments, and I'll reach out to you and get you some help, and we can set up and we can talk. There's no obligations. This is me offering the fact that, I work with a lot of clients. In my experience, in my programs, I really focus on making sure that you're getting proper rest and recovery, and I want to help you with that because I know how important it is to overall feel better. So that being said, guys, thank you again. Please subscribe, please like the video, comment below if you're ready, and we can jump on a call and make it so much easier so that you can figure out what you need to do and build a strategy so you can be successful. But outside of that, guys, have a great day. Go out there and be a boss. Take control of your life because it is your life to lead, and the things you do every day are going to help you get your goals even faster. So thank you guys again. Have a great night. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.